beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if this is your first time visiting with us here in my little magical space. Yesterday was World Kindness Day, so I thought today we would come and just talk about how kindness can be so magical and it can create so much of a ripple effect throughout the world and change how people feel about themselves, change how animals feel about themselves, and it's just a beautiful magical thing. So I really wanted to talk about it today. So sit down, grab that cup of tea, let's get to it. So I have always kind of lived through my heart. This is something I was just talking about with my mom actually, about how when I was a child I was always crying. I was crying at TV shows like some mothers do have them, but I will be honest and say that though I lived through my heart, kindness has always felt a little bit out of reach in this dimension, in this world. Do you ever feel that way? I'm sure you do, because this world can feel very much like it's not made for those of us who are a little bit more sensitive than others. And so I think it's really important to try and share out kindness and be kind to others. And I've always lived like that. But I remember being on holiday with my husband and we were going along like the seafront. And I could see ahead of me, coming towards me, somebody who was obviously trans and who was not, shall we say, society passing, with those little air quotes. And so they were like fidgeting with themselves the whole way walking towards me. But I just thought this woman's outfit was really beautiful. And as they came towards me, I was thinking, what can I, I kind of want to say something nice, but I didn't know what to say. And then I noticed they had these beautiful like lacy tights on. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I love your tights. And this person's whole demeanour just changed like that. And they were just suddenly like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. And told me where they got them from and wished me a wonderful holiday. And they tootled off on their adventures. And I just felt in my heart like I'd cast a stone out into the sea and those beautiful ripples had started. And that's kind of how I see kindness, as these little stones. And that's why I remember, not just as a child, but like every now and again this thing happens where people start to paint rocks and put like really lovely little affirmations or quotes or messages on there, and they leave them in like really public places for just strangers to find. And I always thought that was a beautiful thing to do, and also something that is very magical. It's connecting with the earth, but it's also doing something that can really affect somebody else, lift them up and change their day. You don't know what other people are going through. And I think the fact of casting those stones out and letting those ripples follow out into the world is so, so incredible and awe-inspiring. For me, God has never been this sky daddy looking down on us all, giving us all, you know, little checkpoint markers. How are they doing today? It's always been like the fabric of this universe and the little vibrations that go on inside of everything. Everything has different vibrations, and that's how we see it and feel it, and that's how it manifests. And the vibration has always been how I see God. And so if you think that you're casting out these little gems, these little stones of kindness out into the world, and they're rippling the fabric of the universe, the vibrations are changing, we're causing magic to sprinkle out in the world. And I've talked about this a few times over the years, but it's really, really touching me this year. It's really making me feel like as I get older, and sometimes as the world seems to get harder and harsher, and we look at the news and we look at what's going on in the world, and we kind of feel like, what is the point in me trying to do these things when everyone else is harsh and hard and separated? But are they really? Or is it that we just live in these little boxes and it's hard to get out? Especially when you're disabled, it's hard to get out. I just finished writing a blog post actually. I'll put a link down to it down below about how we can find more accessible ways of spreading kindness. So if you're interested in more ways of doing that as a disabled witches, definitely check out that post down below. So World Kindness Day started in 1998. But honestly, witches have been spreading kindness throughout their communities, throughout the world, since we first started connecting with herbs and connecting with the nature around us. And I think it can be really easy to forget that. It can be easy to forget that by doing these little things, by doing spells, by doing witchcraft activism, by being kind to others, by doing all these things, all the things that we do naturally as witches, we are changing the world. Seeing kindness as activism has really been something that's been with me for a while now. You know, kill them with kindness. Don't be mean back to someone, be kind. And it doesn't always work, but I think a lot of the time it does. It can really shock people, especially in this day and age, when people are behind their keyboards and they think they can be little warriors or troll people. You know, it can be so easy to get down or feel down by that. But by sprinkling kindness throughout our day, throughout this world, I think we can really make a difference. And so I really wanted to talk about this today and really centre it around World Kindness Day, because I think a lot of us as witches forget that we have always done this, always. And we always will. Those of us who are the outsiders, who are the people on the edge of town, who connect with nature and do beautiful things for people, we really are changing the world. Because of this, we can look at our spells in a different way. It's all about energy exchange. It's all about those vibrations that I was talking about before. And it's all about setting your intentions and doing your actions as if every moment of doing that action of kindness is going to ripple out into the world. Concentrating on kindness as a spell and doing spells around kindness and self-love and compassion for others and compassion for ourselves even. They're all just really, really beautiful, incredible ways of connecting our craft to our kindness, to our personal values, and spreading it all everywhere. Everywhere we go, everything we do, just centre it in everything we do. And I think once we start doing that, we can once again start to reframe the world, change the way we see the world, and therefore change the way the world works. If we look back through history again, we can see that we are the healers, we are the helpers of the communities that we lived in. As kitchen witches can connect with cooking beautiful food for not only ourselves and for friends and family. We can share recipes within our communities online through social media. We can share and bolster our community by buying ingredients for the homeless or for community food banks, healthy good food that they can pick up and eat and, you know, really fill themselves up. It's so important that we see ourselves as more than just I'm doing a candle spell or I'm doing a charm bag, but also giving the world around us this beautiful, comfy, cozy, cared for feeling. And we all do that when we get into the kitchen, don't we? I know I have. Today I made this beautiful stew and it took me like 5 minutes to do, and that is an accessible, really easy, really lovely, hearty, healthy foods that I'm going to feed to my husband and my mum. You also got to think back to the hedge witches who protected their communities, and so maybe we can set up protections not just for ourselves and for our home, but also for our online communities. I definitely have protections for everybody in the butterfly family already, and we can set up protections for our town or for the little area of our town that we live in, thinking of ways to really help not just ourselves but to spread kindness, protection, and that lovely yummy energy that we often bring to family and close friends, but we don't often think wider about. which I think is so important, so important. So how can we actually make this into a thing? How can we change the world? How can we grab it? And I think, as I will say this about anything, the first place to start is with yourself. You cannot help anybody else if you're pouring from an empty cup. And so doing spells for self-love, for energy, if you're a disabled witch like me, maybe do some sun spells to draw the energy from the sun or from the earth, grounding yourself, making sure you're making beautiful yummy food for yourself, maybe even like meal prepping for the month or for the week. Things like that, those small little steps that are really going to help you to grow that self-compassion. I've done some self-love spells here on the channel. I did a beautiful painting. I will link to that video down below. And I also did like a little charm bag spell. I also did a candle spell with you all. So I'll leave links to those videos down below if you would like to look more for those sorts of spells that you can easily pull together with probably the things that you have just in your kitchen or in your cupboards if you've got a witchcraft area, if you're lucky enough. And I think that's really important, to look at the things that you can do for yourself, even just enchanting your coffee or your cup of tea, making beautiful affirmations for yourself. Those little small things are where we all need to start. It's with ourselves, making sure we're getting enough sleep, enough to eat, all that kind of good stuff. That gives us the energy to then take the next step. We can also send healing energy or energy out into the community, into our witchcraft community, our chronic illness community. We can do meditations or share meditations that you find that will help people in, say, a Facebook group or on a creator's video. If you've got a nice spell or a lovely community meditation that you think would be great, leave it down in the comments. I'd love to hear. These sharing of knowledge freely is something that I really believe in, but I also think this holding knowledge behind paywalls and stuff can be really detrimental to us as a whole community. And as much as we all need to pay our bills, etc., we also need to think bigger than that and think about sharing what we know, sharing what we believe in, and what we can do together is so important. So even if you're not a creator, you can share something in a Facebook group or on a Facebook page, all these little things that really help other people to connect. So important. Another thing is to really think about your environment. Think about the planet, Mother Earth, Gaia, whatever you want to call her, the spirit of our planet. Turn off the water while you're cleaning your teeth. Wash up once a day, maybe in the evening. That's what we do to save water. Sending beautiful energy back down to earth. I also love sending thankfulness and gratitude to the earth, and I do that every night. And I think it's important to really think about the practices of your witchcraft. Are you looking after the earth when you're buying things? Can you thrift or buy second hand? Can you share the ingredients with another witch? Can you find ways to make your practice more sustainable? Is that something that is an option for you? That's something that I think we need to think about a lot more in this community. And lastly, just connecting to green witchcraft, not just in the plants that you're working with, but also in thanking those plants, working with the land spirits, working with the spirit of your house. I know that's something that I want to do more and more and more, is just work with the spirit of my house. Like, I literally moved into this house when I was 6 years old, and off and on since then I've lived in this house. And I kind of feel like sometimes I'm going to live the rest of my life in this house. It's a great house, but I don't work with the spirit of the house as much as I would like to, and that is definitely something that I want to step into in the coming year. So let me know if that's something you're wanting to do. But all the spirits that are around us, the land, the plants that you're working with, really stepping into this kind of giving back, not just taking from the resources that are around us. That is something that I think sometimes we can forget, especially when we're doing spells and we've got these ingredients that we've dried. Like, have we been taking care of the things around us at the same time as utilising those things? So let me know in the comments, How do you share kindness within your witchcraft? And do you see kindness as magical like I do? Now, I will say this, it is important to think about accessibility in your kindness. Think about how a lot of these like kindness acts can hinged upon you being able to go outside and leave little pebbles, that you can write, that you can read, that you can see, that you are able to do these things. Can you cook? Like, can you do this? It's important to see where you are and then think of ways that you can share kindness out. And I did talk about this a little bit more in that blog post, so again, the link to that is down below. But I think it's so important. We shouldn't be just assuming that acts of kindness are an able-bodied privilege. We need to think more widely about it. We need to include everybody in it. Volunteering for people that you know are disabled, offering to run errands for them, offering to do things for that disabled or elderly person in your street is going to make a big difference. And I think sometimes we forget that. We forget that we have people who live in our street who we might not see that often. And I think it can be easy to forget that we have the power to reach out to people. I've never had that. I've never had somebody offer to cook me meals because they see that I struggle. And I've never had somebody ask if I need groceries getting. Even in the height of COVID, when we just moved in with Mom and all my neighbours knew that we'd just moved in, nobody ever offered to do anything to help. And I think we need to start rebuilding that. And I think that would make the world just a little bit more accessible, don't you? Kindness doesn't need you to be having a high spoon day or to have a lot of energy to be able to work. You can do things like leave a voice message to a friend, share a social media post to somebody who you know would really benefit from just a little nudge that, hey, I was thinking about you today. You know, I do that quite a lot when I'm just, you know, mindlessly scrolling through social media because my brain's foggy. I sometimes will see something and be like, oh, that's cute, and I'll send it to my friends. And then I get that back as well. Other people send me things, and it's really nice to see those messages and be like, oh, that person was thinking about me. And it doesn't take a lot of energy. Also, it's so easy to forget that we can show kindness out into the world even if we are stuck in bed. I was stuck in bed all day mostly yesterday, and I spent a bit of time just like leaving comments on social media posts so that other disabled creators would see those little hearts that I'd sent or that little comment that I left and would see that, you know, we're supporting one another. That's a really lovely way of doing it. Also sharing out small creators' videos and blog posts and social media. Now even on Instagram you can repost things. Now you can just reshare them and everybody in who's following you will see them. That can be so powerful, and it can help so many disabled witches or disabled and witches or disabled or witches, you know, get seen more and their posts to get found, and that's so helpful. I can't even tell you. Subtle hint to do that for me. Also, we can just share a few minutes of meditation in front of a little tea light or an LED candle while we're laid in bed that's already set up for healing. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow, is make a little candle so that I can just grab it next time I'm not feeling well and use that. So definitely keep an eye on my vlogs. They come out on a Monday and I share like my daily witchcraft and what I do every day to help myself. So you'll see that in a couple of weeks time, me just creating a little candle spell that if I'm having a bad day I can light in the room with me for healing, and I think that's going to be amazing. Low energy kindness can also be things like helping other people who have low energy who are witches. So things like reading tarot for somebody, maybe if they are not feeling well and you know they've been, you know, they might have just had an operation or been in hospital or they're just not going through a bad time, you could always offer to read their tarot, or send them, if you are a Reiki practitioner, you could always do long distance healing at a set time for them. Things like that can really make a difference to that person, and I've had a couple of people offer to do that for me over the time that I've been sick and practicing witch, and it has been so lovely to just get a message saying, so you weren't feeling well, would you like some Reiki, or I've sent you some healing. And it just feels so nice to receive those thoughts and to see that I'm not invisible just because I'm sick, or just because I'm having a bad day and I'm stuck in bed and I feel invisible because no one's seen me, I'm just in my bedroom. So it's really can be so powerful to share these things. Our walking aids are not barriers. I walk with a walker sometimes I'm in my wheelchair, sometimes I've got my walking stick. And with all those things, it can sometimes be a barrier to kindness. People feel like they can't even look at you, or they can't talk to you, or they'll talk to the person pushing my wheelchair or the person I'm with instead of me. Making sure to include disabled people in your kindness, so important. And helping people who are disabled can help you to feel so much more grounded in this kindness as being part of our lives. Giving time in whatever capacity you can, whether it's reading, I know there's so many charities out there, but there are charities for people who are visually impaired where you can read to somebody or read something for them. I know there's an app where you get called, it's like a video call, and then that person be like, I can't read this label, can you read it for me, or something, and then you read it for them. That's the sort of thing I wish we used AI more for. Like on YouTube, the subtitling is atrocious, and I spend so much time before getting a video out re-going over every minute of my video with the subtitles that are auto-generated and changing them so they are fully working and fully right. And if you have a favourite YouTuber who is not putting up subtitles, maybe offer to subtitle a video for them or to help them out in some way. It's always a big help to have somebody offer to do things like that. It can be quite overwhelming. There's a lot of things that you have to juggle as a YouTuber, so that's a great way of helping people. Even if you are unable to get out of the house, there are so many ways we can help, and it's just a couple of little ideas for you. I think quite often, like I was saying earlier, it can feel like our kindness is not working. The world is hard, but even in a world that profits from cruelty and selfishness, kindness can be revolutionary. And I think for disabled witches, just existing joyfully in a community that is rippling out into the world is just so powerful. The fact that we can be seen and our visibility is out there is incredible. There is a time not all that long ago, probably up until the 1980s, many people with mental health or physical disabilities were put into homes or care places and were just simply not seen. They didn't have any way of really getting us out into the community, which is why now we're out here, people kind of don't know how to cope because society has never had us as a part of it before. By existing, by being out here, by being loud about our kindness and our existence in this world, we can start a little kindness disabled witch revolution. Will you join me? Badges to follow. But I don't know, I just think it would be incredible to start this kind of rippling, beautiful revolution of kindness. My content, hopefully, is helping people. I see comments on my videos quite regularly stating that it has helped and that people feel less alone, and that is why I share my videos. So I would love to know if this video helped you. and I'm going to be sharing like a kindness spell over the weekend, probably in like a short or a reel or whatever it's called here on YouTube. I'm so old, I can't keep up with all the different names for all the different things, but anyway, I'm going to make a short video just detailing a little kindness spell that we'll do together over the weekend. And if this video has helped you, I really hope that you'll let me know in the comments. I read all the comments, I reply to them, so please never feel like you're shouting into the void. Here in the butterfly family, everybody is important, and you're all important to me. Next week, I'm going to be talking about my own experiences as a disabled carer. That is for, what is it called? Carers' Rights Week. Because as an unpaid carer, I think we kind of get forgotten, but we're actually pillars of the community, so I thought I'd make a little video about it. I've talked about it a lot on my blog, so I'll be sharing blog posts left, right and centre with you all in next week's video. But yeah, make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification and all that kind of thing, just so that you don't miss that. Thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful butterfly family. I thank you all for being here. It honestly makes me so happy. I would love to reach 3,000 subscribers, 3,000 little butterflies in this family. I would love that. So if you're not yet subscribed and you enjoy my content, definitely hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment and a like, and hype the video up, share it out, do all the magical free things. That means so much to me. Remember that even if you think your kindness is too small to make any difference, your kindness does matter, and it's so important to keep sharing it out. So never forget you are loved. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.